Are you sure that the famulus lives here?
Yes, according to Lot-Yonan.
Although you try to put a lot of assurance into your voice, you too see no signs that anyone lives here.
No castle, no tunnel, no camp. There's nothing here but mountain.
Then we'll have to take a closer look.
You do that, scholar. We'll be waiting for you here.
You think about objecting, but it would just be a waste of breath.
Even the dark, evergreen forest seems to be afraid of the Black Mountain. An old tree. Looks like it could fall down at any moment. There we go. Too steep. I can't get a grip anywhere. I should be able to get up here. Oh. Phew. That was close. I hope this is all worth it. Here's a... No, forget it. Definitely a rock face. There's something engraved on it.
You realize with surprise that they are runes in the Dwarven language.
Built with the blood of our enemies, be unyielding as the rock, and soak the land in their blood. Huh? Hello? Master Garen, Lot-Yonan sent me to bring some items back to you. My inquiries are almost at an end. That means I can finally go to be with my sunshine. I have never been to Greenglade, but I think I will like it there. I deposited my most valuable things in the grave of Horengarth before my departure and secured it with magic. The password is...
You recognize the following words as rune names, but they are written in the learned language, so you don't know which they are.
Greenglade. Oh, great. Useful. An eternal flame. I know who taught him that.
You see sketches and notes on the architectural features, statues and wall reliefs. It seems Garen spent a lot of time studying this place.
Maybe he's a kind of a dwarf historian, or maybe he's just a treasure hunter. Hello? Is anyone there? Born of stone, forged in battle, arise reborn from the blood of the enemy.
You're not sure if you really want to know what was once in this basin. The whole place gives you the feeling that a decent dwarf shouldn't hang around too long.
A rune, clearly magical. Sarcophagus. Perhaps I could open it. Urglings, the fortress belongs to the dwarf haters.
You have difficulty deciphering the scroll.
Throw the firstlings in the forge, beat the secondlings to a pulp. The fourthlings are... The rest is illegible. I'd rather not hit it again. The sarcophagus is protected by some kind of magic. Guren is in Greenglade.
It looks as though Guren lived in the fortress for a while. It also seems that he left several lunar orbits ago.
It's not stealing, it would just be a shame if the provisions went off.
A series of weapons that are all clearly of dwarven origin. The spider webs and rust suggest they have been here for quite a while, maybe even centuries.
Lorimber, the progenitor of the Thirdlings.
In most of the chronicles about the five dwarfen kingdoms, only very little is written about the Thirdlings, and what is written is full of disgust. They are called traitors, or worse. It would seem that even the Thirdlings worship Vracus, but in all the other kingdoms his shrine would be the biggest, not the statue of the kingdom's progenitor. A couple of gold coins are in the bowl in front of the shrine.
Vracus left this place long ago, so there's no reason to leave this gold here. Lorimber's dwarves are not only as unyielding as a mountain, they are also as destructive as an avalanche, and would batter into lesser kingdoms just as relentlessly. The Four should find no salvation in Vracus, only eternal damnation, so that they suffer indescribable torment between the worlds.
You have heard of the dwarf haters, but this is the first time you have read their hateful words. You feel sick and turn away.
No trace of Goren here either. If he's close, then there must be some kind of cave somewhere in the mountain. I can only climb a little way here. There must be a better way.
So, Scholar, what are the results of your inquiries?
There's an abandoned fortress in the mountain, and I think it belonged to the Thirdlings.
Boindill's eyes narrow.
The blasted dwarf killers!
A Thirdling fortress? Here? In the middle of Girdlegard? We must let High King Gundrabur know about this.
The fortress has been long abandoned by the looks of it. Anyway, I can't go to Ogre's death until I have completed my quest. Goren is in Greenglade.
Huh.
The High King? Why do you want to bring me to him?
All right then. It's about the choice of the new High King. Gandagar, the King of the Fourthlings, is with his entourage in Ogre's death and is supposed to ascend the throne.
But our acting High King Gundrabur wants to prevent that from happening. He fears that Gandagar wishes to instigate a war against the elves.
But what have I got to do with that?
Boindill is about to say something, but is silenced by a nudge in the side from his brother.
High King Gundrabur will explain everything when the time comes.
You look distrustfully from one twin to the other. Boindill has donned an innocent expression, and Boendal doesn't give you the impression that he has anything else to say on the matter.
What does this King Gandagar have against the elves?
Dwarves and elves just don't get along. Brachus and Satalia made us that way.
I know that, but going to war for just that, after all this time?
Well, there must be more behind it. They say that the King of the Fourthlings is full of hatred and is a hothead in this matter.
A Thirdling fortress? Here, in the heart of Girdlegard? That's strange, isn't it?
And worrying. But they've always been wily. They move in the shadows and kill there too if they can. Do you know their story?
I've read about it. Lorenber, their progenitor, rejected the name that Vrakas gave him, who in turn did not give him any special talent, so his kingdom studied war.
It helps them defending the East, but it also meant they ended up confronting the other kingdoms. No dwarf would ever even think of injuring one of his kind, never mind killing them. But the dwarf killers are proud of it. When they were even more powerful, they wanted to become the rulers of all dwarves. They are envious of our skills. They haven't been heard of for a long time, but you can be sure there isn't a single dwarf alive who doesn't hate them.
Whatever, your High King must wait. I have a quest to carry out in Greenglade.
But our quest is...
Boindil raises a placatory hand and throws his rucksack onto his back in preparation.
Let it be, dear brother. Look at him.
Traces of the attack on Steepleton can still be seen, but the repair work is coming on well. While taking a rest, you see a cart trundling along the road not far away from you. A young couple are sitting on the box seat, clearly in love and more interested in each other than the rest of the world around them. The sight reminds you of a long, unanswered question.
So, I was wondering, what do female dwarfs look like?
Pretty.
Very pretty.
Uh-huh.
You were expecting a little more information.
Do they have beards?
No, I would say it's more like fluff. Oh, very attractive.
And what do they do? I mean, are they warriors too?
In our kingdom, most take care of domestic life. They take the animals down to the meadows and the valleys, make sure the larders are full and that there's plenty of good beer, and make our clothes.
It only ever causes problems when men and women stand shoulder to shoulder in battle.
Some of them are talented stonemasons and smiths, and beware of insulting their skills. They are no less proud than we are.
By the evening campfire, Boindale rummages around in his rucksack and pulls out a cheese wrapped in a cloth. He sticks a fist-sized piece on a spit and grills it on the fire.
There's nothing better than grilled cheese at the end of a long day.
The smell it gives off makes you hold your breath.
Oh, it smells like my socks after weeks of marching in my boots.
Oh, picky, are you? Hardly surprising considering you were brought up by humans. It's ruined your taste.
Boindale holds the stinky cheese at the end of the stick under your nose.
Eat and stop complaining.
You pull the warm piece of cheese from the stick. It tastes dreadful. Your fingers will smell of it for the next few days, and probably your mouth will too. You arrive at a small, bustling village. One thing is clearly missing from the lively scene: the sound of metal on metal from the village smithy that would normally be heard above everything else at this time of day. A dour, grim-looking man is sitting in front of the forge with his right arm in a sling. His expression brightens as he sees you, and he jumps. The man's expression is somewhere between desperation and hope.
What happened to your arm?
A stupid accident. A box of blanks fell down. I was trying to catch it. It will heal, fortunately, but I won't be able to wield...
You must have quite a backlog of work.
You nod sympathetically. You always felt bad if you were ill.
Loads. But if what I hear about the metalworking skills of the dwarves is true, it would be...
I'll help you. I worked in a forge for a while.
A little later, you are standing in the workshop, examining the smith's inferior tools, while he fires up the forge. You weren't able to persuade the twins to help you. As warriors, they'd rather go hunting, Boindale declared. But you think it's more probable that you'll find them drinking beer. But you don't care. You're excited. Hours later, you have forgotten everything around you. The heat of the forge, the sweat on your warm skin.
Wait, I'm talking to you.
You look up in surprise. Everything but the beating of the hammer had ceased to exist, and you didn't.
Can you do it?
You immediately dislike the middle-aged man. He sounds you out so doggedly with his light grey eyes that it feels as though he wants to look right through you and into your deepest thoughts. The man, with the forge hammer in your hand, you play dumb. You blink and look back and forth between the horses. You expect the man to fly off the handle, but you feel even more uneasy when he asks you quietly, and
These two need chewing? No problem.
the man doesn't look convinced, but you get to work with confidence. Two more armed men are standing. You concentrate on the work. The only sound you hear is the melodic beat of the hammer against the anvil. You keep track of the armed men out of the corner of your eyes. You suspect they are mercenaries. While you're fitting the third horseshoe, another armed man enters the forge and speaks in hushed tones with the leader of the group.
He's the only one here.
The man nods in your direction, and you quickly shift your attention back to the... You play it cool and complete the work. As the leader of the mercenaries pays you, you have the feeling that he is trying to transfer...
So, you're mercenaries, I take it?
You're only trying to engage in conversation, but the man looks at you incredulously.
Something like that.
Got lots of work? Oh, do you know anything about the armies of orcs from the...
We can't complain.
The man's tone makes it clear that the conversation has ended here. You carry out the work. The men join a larger group of horsemen, more than a dozen, outside the village. You stay here.
Not here in the village. Go. Search the road between here and Clintal again.
The other mercenaries nod and the group rides off. You can't make head nor tail. You tell the twins about your encounter, and they decide to be especially vigilant over the next days. You spend the... The hamlet of Sungird certainly lives up to its name. You arrive as the sun sets behind the tower of a Palandial temple, lighting up its stained glass. There's a shop in the village, and through the window, as well as some everyday objects and food, you also spy a shelf full of books. A small bell rings as you enter the shop. The twins look around, but seem rather disinterested, until they discover a couple of gemstones on display. On the wall to your left is the bookshelf you saw through the window. It's quite unusual for a village shop to sell books. You stroll towards the bookshelf and read some of the titles written on the spines of the books. You know many of the words.
Oh, by fracas, look, dear brother! The scholar really is looking at books!
It's an interesting selection, Boindle. I could make some recommendations for you.
Boindle throws his arm around your shoulder and pulls you slowly away from the bookshelf.
What if someone sees you? Here, this is more our kind of thing.
You follow him reluctantly and are shown. Boindle is walking next to you in silence. Now and then he looks at you from the side.
And you really do like books?
Yeah, I'm curious. And you can find many answers in books.
Won't you have found all the...
Quite the contrary. The more books you read, the more questions you ask.
Ah, I knew it! Oh, just a waste...
You approach the village and can tell even from far off that something isn't right.
By Vrachus.
The piggies have really shown those pointy ears. We couldn't have done it any better.
Stay alert. I want to find out what happened to Garen.
The elf maiden's graceful snow-white face still radiates beauty, in terrible contrast to the rest of her appearance. From the neck down, she is nothing more than a blood-red, damp and glistening.
Hoofprints! Burned into the ground!
How far?
The fire in Boindill's eyes flares up with delight.
Huzzah! That would make a change from those stupid Peggies. Did you hear that, brother? We might get to test our blades.
Green Glade was one of the few places in Girdlegard where humans and elves live together. You don't see any elven features among all the faces contorted with pain and fear. You look away. You have read about the elves and their buildings. This here had always just been... The hand that painted this picture was that of a master.
This picture portrays the village in its state of ruin.
Examining the canvas more closely, you realize that it is actually... The smell of the smoke has accompanied you for a while now, but here, so close to the bodies, it is masked by the
This is the most disgusting thing I have ever seen.
The body of the man is riddled with arrows and is lying in a small patch of undamaged ground, while the robes remind you of those of Lot Yonan's famuli. This, plus the fact that the man used magic, makes you quite sure that this is Garen.
Garen had these books on him when he was attacked. Was he trying to bring them to safety?
Your eyes fall upon a sealed letter next to the book.
Greetings, Tugger. I am glad to hear that you finally wish to confide in Lot Yonan. I have found out something new about the demon. It's all written in these books. I think they are the key to his destruction, or I hope so, at least. Yours faithfully, Goren. What demon are they talking about?
You instinctively think about how the magical barrier is only a few days' march north of here, and beyond it, Varakas only knows what kind of creatures live in the Perish Land.
You destroyed my painting. Now I need fresh blood to paint a new one.
Huzzah! This will be fun! We finally get to fight!
I hope your blood doesn't clot too much. It has to be nice and fluid for my fine brushstrokes.
Ha! How do you plan to defeat us, pointy ears? There are 3 of us!
Oh, only 3. That makes it easier.
She looks over the corpses.
Othar and Lueth Buanre!
What's happening?
That's the perished land.
Impossible. Greenglade is south of the barrier. At once. Understood.
Huh? What is it? is it? Who's next? Oh, he didn't hit you very hard. He hardly put up a fight. Yes. And what now? Yes. Too easy. He hardly put up a fight.
Yes?
What is it? Who's next? And what now? Oh, you didn't hit you very hard. Ow! Another one bites the dust. Huh? Yes? Kill. What is it?
I'm away.
And what now? Yes? He hardly put up a fight. Bad luck for you. Huh? I'm with you.
Yes?
Ow! Another one bites the dust. Huh? What is it? Come here, you. Huh? Oh, he didn't hit you very hard.
Yes?
I have bow and dart. Give me a
As good
hand.
as done. Huh? Understood.
Attack! What is it? Huzzah! And what now? Huh? Yes! I have bow and dart. Give me a hand.
Dwarves, you protected the glade. The perished land. The barrier has fallen.
You can feel your stomach cramping. Unlike Boindale, you can't say a word.
The damn mage, I only had one job!
So this is what it is like to rise from the dead. I feel nothing. I am left with nothing. My love, my beauty, my...
Without even being able to look into her eyes, you recognize the sadness in the elf maiden's expression. The dignity...
Garen was here, and I've heard that you elves have special abilities in battle. Did the Alfar take you by surprise in your sleep?
I felt her presence, but when I confronted the elf, she had already killed the first of us and resurrected the perished land. It fills humans and dwarves with a hatred for life. It turns you into beasts. They charge through the village like a fury.
If the perished land spreads further south, then Nod On won't need any orcs.
Your stomach turns, but you know that it's right. You've never seen the twins looking so serious. They would pit themselves against any army of orcs, but this is something beyond their power.
We must go to Lot before the perished land spreads further. He will know what is to be done.
Neither of your companions objects.
I can't believe it. The barrier has fallen. How could that happen?
Who can tell?
It had held back the perished land since the fall of the Fifthling.
You think of the demons mentioned in Garen's...